How's it going, everybody? Brian Elvis and Dave Meltzer here. Wrestling Observer Radio, October 14, 2021. Figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. We got a lot of news to get into here today. I want to start with the passing of Pepe DiPasquale. Dave, what can you tell us about him?
Wow. He was a wrestler who wrestled in this. He actually wrestled from like 61 to 1990, but he wrestled a little bit in this. It would have been pretty much on small cards. He was, just a enhancement guy who did TVs in the 70s on WWE and probably better known in Pittsburgh under the name Dino Nero, where he was mostly a job guy as well. Just a part-time guy, but passed away a couple of days ago. He had in Pittsburgh, I think in WWE, just because of the name Pepe DiPasquale, that's what he was remembered for, because it was such a unique wrestling name that in most places he didn't use because he thought it wasn't a good wrestling name, and promoters thought it wasn't a good wrestling name. So he came up with Dino Nero, I believe. And in Pittsburgh, he had a famous match with the Sheik that was like a big bloodbath in the 70s that aired on television when you didn't have big bloodbaths on studio wrestling. So that was the basic deal. But Greg Oliver knew him and did some good stories on him and everything. And kept in touch with him. He was an Ontario guy who, mostly worked, I guess probably, WWF job guy. I don't remember him working WWE arena shows. Pittsburgh, yes, he worked some arena shows, and maybe once, twice in Maple Leaf Gardens, and probably in the Martinez territory. Probably did jobs there since it was geographically located close to Ontario, where he lived.
What did you think of NXT 2.0 this week?
It was a show.
It was better than last week.
Yeah, it was better than last week, but I find it feels very. There's a lot about it that feels very minor league to me, and
well, it's a minor league show at this point.
Yeah, I mean, as far as the storyline, they're trying to get a whole bunch of new people over all at the same time, and and they're giving them the chance. Carmelo Hayes is now the North American champion, and Joe Gacy did not get into the NXT championship match. They're building up, obviously, Toxic Attraction to be big time attractions. They're building up the Halloween Havoc show in 2 weeks with so it's going to be 3 title matches already. I guess Raquel Gonzalez and Mandy Rose will have a spin the wheel, make the deal match from 1993 WCW idea that they're taking, whatever. And then, Io Shirai and Zoe Stark defending the tag team titles against Jacy Jayne and Gigi Dolan, which since the champions already beaten, well, it's actually a 3-way. Because Indy Hartwell and Persia Parada are going to also be in it. So it's 3-way for the women's tag team titles. And then the Braun Breaker and Ciampa. And I could see Braun Breaker winning that championship. And probably should, given the direction they're going and trying to push him and everything like that. And so they had Isaiah Scott lose since he's going to the main roster of SmackDown, and they had Ridge Holland lose since he's going on the main roster as well. So, and they're focusing on a lot of the new talent, and that was the show.
So it opened up with kidnapping, as B-Fab and Top Dollar got kidnapped in broad daylight by Legado del Fantasma. I don't think we ever saw them get on the show, did we?
No, they were still being held hostage. I think that they're probably.
That doesn't seem right.
No, it's not right. But Top Dollar, he's going to be. He's definitely going to be doing a lot of foot in the mouth because he thinks he's far more clever than he is.
We had the Joe Gacy match with Ciampa, and the storyline was if Joe Gacy won, he would be put into the championship match at Halloween Havoc, and he did not win, and it was a match. It was fine. Ciampa worked hard. They both worked hard, but it was your basic...
Ciampa was good in the match, but yeah, there was... I think the thing with Joe Gacy, number one, I think that the gimmick doesn't work. I watch it and it does nothing.
There's absolutely nothing authentic about the gimmick. It feels like a guy who is reading somebody's lines. It doesn't even feel like a guy who's being sarcastic, which I think is supposed to be the storyline, that he's just pushing all of these buttons by pretending to be this character, but even that doesn't feel... It just feels like he's a guy reading a script that somebody wrote for him that thought would be clever.
Yeah, I don't like
television.
I don't like the wrestling in the clothes. I just think that it makes it look not authentic. Guys have done it. Obviously over the years, but to hide their physiques and everything like that. Some guys have had the gimmick of the clothes. Big Boss Man obviously always did that, but Big Boss Man, there was always the gimmick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was a cop. He wore his cop outfit. I don't even know what Joe Gacy's gimmick wearing his clothes is.
Yeah.
What about this gimmick means you can't wear gear?
Yeah. I just watch it and it's just like, and he's not bad in the ring.
Hey, it's fine.
Yeah, he's not bad, but it's just watching it. I ended up, again, by the end of the match, I kind of liked it because Ciampa really worked hard and he's really good. It's like, it wasn't like it was bad, but it took me a long time to get into it because it just felt very fake, in the wrong kind of fake. Obviously, whatever. It felt very inauthentic, and I couldn't get into it, and it was just like I couldn't buy a Gacy, and I couldn't buy the gimmick, and he did in the end. Ciampa works very, very hard and all that, but yeah, I didn't. I don't know. For several minutes I'm watching it and my mind is kind of like, this just isn't working. And then by the end it's like, they worked hard enough to make it work, but the gimmick is a hindrance, and Ciampa had to work really hard just to get an average match.
We had Duke Hudson and Grayson Waller, and Grayson Waller gets his big entrance. Duke Hudson doesn't get any interest at all. And then Duke Hudson pins him with the trunks. All right, well, whatever.
Something, whatever. So they did one skit with Duke Hudson being a poker player, and now... How is being a poker player?
No, he's still a poker player, because he gave him a chip after the match.
Oh, yeah, I missed that, okay. But, yeah, they just said he's a poker player. It's like, okay, whatever. And
I don't know what this has to do with wrestling, but he's a poker player.
Yeah, and Grayson Waller, he's like a chick magnet? Is that his gimmick?
Well, he definitely was picking up a woman later on, and Grimes walked up and said, "Man, how'd you do that?" And he told him, "Man, if you just shave that beard and shave your chest," so I'm fearful Grimes is going to get the big makeover.
It sounds like it to me, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I don't know that it's that easy. Is it really that easy?
Well, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out.
I guess so. And Grimes is like, I don't know. Whatever. I'm not going to analyze that.
My wife told me to get rid of that beard, so that's all I know.
Did she?
It was horrible, though. It's actually all MJF's fault.
Oh, and I hear this story. Like, well, MJF. What did MJF do?
I had a picture on Twitter or something like that, and he said something like, "Who glued pubes to your face?" And I showed it to my wife, and she said, "Well," and I was like, "All right, beard's got to go." She agreed with MJF about my beard.
Okay, well,
it was horrible at the time, but still. We had Indy Hartwell. Speaking of horrible, by the way,
I'm trying to think if I've ever had an experience like that.
I don't think you've ever had a beard in your life. I'm not sure you can grow a beard.
I shave all the time, so I never found out. I grew a mustache once because a girlfriend of mine...
Just the mustache?
Just a mustache. I grew a mustache once. A girlfriend of mine insisted on me not shaving, and all that. and I was not comfortable with it. Okay, so I went somewhere. I'm trying to remember where. I don't know. The city doesn't matter. I bump into Missy Hyatt, and she just goes, "Your mustache sucks." First words out of her mouth, "Your mustache sucks." And I was thinking the same thing. So I shaved it, and I go home. I didn't tell my girlfriend that Missy Hyatt told me to shave it. I said that I was actually fighting with her at the time anyway. So it was kind of like, it was I'm just doing it, because you want me to do it, and we're fighting anyway, and I don't like it. And so it turned into another fight. But yeah, I do remember that one. But that's the only time.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that was the NXT show, everybody. And obviously there was no Dynamite report because that show comes up on Saturday. And that's it for today. So the new Observer, I presume, out tomorrow?
I presume it's going to have to be, even though I'm way, way behind on watching G1, and I want to watch the Pentagon and Phoenix against Vikingo and Laredo Kid match that everyone's raving about, and I want to watch Nakajima and the match where Katsuhiko Nakajima won the GHC title from Naomichi Marufuji, because I heard that match is really good. So, man, I got too far behind. I don't know. This is rough, because they keep adding content every week. Like this week coming up, this weekend, it's freaking brutal. There's going to be, if it was 1 hour of NXT and 2 hours of SmackDown, that's tough, but, manageable, right? So now it's like 2 hours for sure of Rampage, not NXT. 2 hours of, and then 2.5 hours of the other show. And then there's going to be 2 more hours on Saturday night. And, God knows what else, as far as like, it's just, G1 and all the G1 stuff. The G1's winding to a close. I just want to get caught up on G1 because it is good.
All right, well, tomorrow the Observer will be out, everybody. New back issues up on the front page. We got a bunch of shows over the last couple of days and many more to come, so check them out. And that's it, everybody. We'll talk to you again after a while.